Welcome back to TMN, the Motorsports Network's coverage of Zoom Racing World NorthernLight.com Series Indianapolis 500, the first practice session from the Indianapolis Motor Speedway in Speedway, Indiana. My name is Pete Roberts, and alongside me are two Brits today, David Shore and David Lewis, the former driver of the RPM number 27 Izod car last year. He has come up to the booth to join us this week to call the races, to call our practice sessions today. David, what's your impression so far on the way these drivers are running?
But I've got to say, this is just one thing. These drivers are I admire them so much for their ability to adapt to the way these cars are running. The couple of years before, we ran V10 engines, which was an absolute disaster, which triggered the pack racing. And then last year and this year, we've got the V8 turbocharged engines, and I'm very impressed with these drivers' ability to adapt. As now you're looking at the number 02 Glenn Menard's car. That is last year's winner, Clay Harrow. He is getting worked on by Andrew Gorman. It's very difficult for us, though. We ran the normally aspirated engines in the Noble Izod Open Wheel Driver Development Series, and I had never, up until last year, driven in anything that was turbocharged. So it was very different. It was quite different for me, but I've got to say one thing, that these drivers are very fantastic in their way. I can't believe that we're finally doing this. Yes, and after it's been a delay, but right now on your screen is the TMN Fast 5 ticker that will update periodically through the race, showing you the fastest 5 drivers currently in this practice session. Now, David, when you raced here, you of course raced the normally aspirated engines, and it was a wild pack racing nut. Basically, drivers were going insane with the pack racing because that's what you could. That's what the normally aspirated engines and the Panos chassis that you guys were running, that's what it triggered. Right now, as we're looking at Rob Peters in the number 33 Menards Quaker State machine, he's in the Ford Cosworth. David Shore, that is. What do you think Rob Peters is going to do today?
Well, I think he's got a fantastic car. He always brings his absolute fastest and best stuff to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway because that's what he wants to do more than anything. He wants to get a win here at Indianapolis because it's his home track. He was born and raised here in Indianapolis. He wants to win here. But the same could be said, as we've always said, him and Jason Eddington have always had that sort of rivalry in terms of winning at Indianapolis. Those two want to win more than anybody else in the field, I think. You can't speak, because everybody wants to win the home race. But when your home race is at Indianapolis, it's just that much more special to you. David, what do you think is going, as we're watching now? You raced with this guy right here, Mark Diaz. What are your thoughts on him? Or maybe not. We're going to switch to Jason Eddington now. And as I was talking about, though, Jason Eddington, he is one of those guys who wants to win here just as badly as Rob Peters does. He was born and raised here as well. He wants to win here so badly. And there's Reagan Armstrong driving underneath him. Yes, I raced with the Reagan Armstrong a lot here in the Izod Open Wheel Driver Development Series. I was crushed because she was my teammate at the time, and she was a great teammate. She always offered fantastic feedback. The one thing that we share in common, though, is that we're both terrible road course drivers. So when we get on the road course, like I was with her in Long Beach last week, and the week before at St. Petersburg, as I was subbing for Jacques Vallieu, as you all know, Reagan and I, we just never got the road courses as much as everybody else did. But Reagan, for one, is a fantastic road oval driver. She knows the ovals better than I think even I do. That's just how good he is, and now here's another guy I raced with. I can't believe we're just showing. I'm just going to give my opinions on everybody that I used to race with. This is Roger Simon. I used to race with him. He won this race when we went to the Izod Open Wheel Driver Development Series. But one of the things that we were used to talk a lot in the garage about this was the normally aspirated engines and how they triggered the pack racing that we saw at this racetrack, and at all the other racetracks that we saw. That we were talking in Chicagoland about how we could not believe that pack racing managed to eventually trigger the accident that horribly injured Reagan Armstrong. So, series officials know that they've got to fix this problem of pack racing. We've got to fix the pack racing. And they've done a great job with that. They downgraded from the B10 engines that we were using in 2009 and 2010 to the 2011 package and the 2012 package as well, which was much safer V8 turbocharged engines. But with getting the air in that through the big old suction hole that's above our heads, just like we used to. Yes, and now, thank you, David, for that insight. We all know about the turbocharged and the normally aspirated debate. There's been some debate going on within series officials whether or not we should return to possibly normally aspirated engines with slower cars, maybe slow them down a little bit and make them go fast on their own, put the speed back into the owner's hands, or do something of that nature. You were just riding a long board there with Bill Harrison in the number 35 car. He's doing very well today. And not in the 35, the 51. Showing great strength here at Indianapolis. This is his farewell tour. He will not be coming back to the NorthernLight.com series next year. So we're all hoping that he does a fantastic job as he races with the inaugural winner there. That is Naomi Rivers. She won the inaugural race, stealing it away from Rob Peters. Rob Peters, as you all know, the story behind that is when Naomi Rivers was a free agent, Rob was like, you know what, you put on a great show, you're going to be my open wheel gal. And he put her in the number 32 car, and she's so far shown a lot of muscle so far today. There is the number 12. That is Edward Storm. He raced last year in the NorthernLight.com series. David, what was it like racing with Edward Storm? Well, Edward Storm is one of those guys where I have an immense amount of respect for him. And there's another guy there, the 14 car. I have a lot of respect for a lot of these guys. Jake Gunner is one of them. Jake Gunner, first of all, I've raced with him. He's been a great, kind of a mentor to me, kind of. We're both from Britain, as you know, so we both got that, we both got that hometown pride. But Edward Storm, he's been one of those guys that I look up to, kind of. He's fantastic in the way he drives. There's Aiden Williams now in a number 4 car. He was a fantastic guy to race against last year as well. He put up one heck of a show for these fans. All these drivers are fantastic to race with. I actually wish I could get back out. It's making me want to get back out there and maybe make a go for it. Maybe I'll talk to Rob or something if he can get me into a 5th car. If that's even legal in the Zoom racing world, I don't think it is actually. I've talked to series directors, but I don't know if it's legal. That's very okay. But I mean, I could try. I could probably get to drive for someone. I don't know. But we like you up here in the booth, though. I know. I like being up here in the booth with you guys, but I always get back down on the track. It's just more fun. Yes, and clearly I would think that someone who just loves oval racing at heart, like you, David, that just would want to get back out there. Now, storyline here of today, we're looking at the number 22 of Jason Storm, rookie in the series. I think that Jason has an immense amount of talent. Now, here we go. The cameraman just keeps changing it up on us, pointing to the number 9. That is Mike Oppenheimer. Oppenheimer is currently the fastest so far today in this practice session. He currently holds a lap of the fastest one being at a 41.649. That is the fastest. Then I'm just going to run down the fastest time so far. Then the number 2, the times have not changed since about maybe 20 minutes ago. As there's your fast 5 popping up right again on the screen there. The number 2 of Lucas Storm set a 41.692. The number 54 of Curtis Bolton set a 41.747. The number 06 of Wilson Bomarito has set a 41.785, and the number 36 of Amber Tannery has set a 41.794. Those are the fastest 5 speeds so far today in this practice session, and they have not changed for about 20 minutes. So maybe these guys are just sort of settling in now, you think, David? David Shore? Yes, I think that most of these drivers are trying to get a feel for this cars today. They're trying to get a feel for the way these cars are going to run. There's Amber Tannery there in the number 39 car. She is trying to get a feel of her car. This huge pack right here that we're looking at, this is what you're probably going to see out there on the track. Big, huge packs of cars running together in single file formation. Hopefully single file formation, that is. As now you see the number 39 of Jonathan Foxburn going down to the inside of Mike Oppenheimer and hoping to get by the number 12 of Edward Storm as well. These guys are going to this is how the race is going to be kind of set up. So they want to get a feel of how the cars are going to react in traffic and in the DDF and in the draft. That's what you want to do when you're racing in one of these series. And yes, there's the guy that I was subbing for. If you can't tell, I'm the two Brits in the stand. I'm David Lewis now talking. That is the number 26 of Jacques Vallée, and I know he's caused lots of headaches in the RPM garage. I don't want to talk bad about him because he's sort of my teammate, but you know, he's got a lot of talent, but he keeps wasting that with his anger problems, and that's what happened last week. He got suspended for the incident at Homestead, and then I had to take a spot for St. Petersburg and Long Beach, and I'm not a good road racer. He's a better road racer than I am. I mean, he actually taught me a lot about road racing when I won at St. Pete last year. But he's got a lot of talent, and Rob has been pulling his hair out, trying to get this guy to focus on that talent. And that's just one of the things he's been doing. Well, with that being said, thank you. We'll be right back with TMN's coverage of Indianapolis 500 practice. We'll be right back after these messages.